Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. Now exclusively on Spotify, powered by Spotify for podcasters. And before anything else, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Alec. I am your host. If you are an avid listener to the podcast, then welcome back to the show. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you do, go ahead and check out the other episodes that we have here. If you are listening for the first time, then welcome. I hope that you like this episode. If you do, please be my guest. Indulge in the hundreds of episodes about personal development. So, for this episode, I want to share something that I feel could benefit a lot of you guys, that I have been practicing for quite some time now. And I know this is still something that a lot of people can benefit from. And I still get this message a lot, actually. And it's about, the number one fear in the world. Okay. And it's about parenting. No, I'm just kidding. No, it might be just the second thing, most scariest thing in the world. But the first and the most scariest thing in the world, and based from statistics, is the number one fear of people is actually public speaking. Okay. I want you to listen to what I'm about to say, because later on it's gonna make sense. But last night, I was finishing my last meeting for the day. I was still working. I was fired up. And then Yanni asked me if we could go on a date. And I said, well, yes, of course. So I didn't have anything else to do. So what I did is I got up, I prepared myself, and I wore some, good clothes, because I also remembered that at that time I needed to submit one more photo, because apparently there was a client, there was a revision, and so I had to take another photo. So I asked my other cousin to take a photo of me, and he said yes. And so okay, I told to Yanni, okay, we can go to dinner. Let me just finish this one photo, and so we're gonna go on our way. And so after that, we were on the way, and I was really curious because she didn't have any shoes on, and she said she was the one who reserved our place where we would have dinner, because the last time I reserved the last date, and so for this time she wanted to do it. And so on the way there, she said we were just gonna get something to from the other house. So we went there from the other house, and then she said, well, before you go, I want to show you something. And then she pulled out her phone, and then she showed me this video. And this video was all about me and my journey as a podcaster for the past 3 years. And it was a very heartfelt video. In fact, it was one of the most memorable videos that I've ever watched, because I didn't think that it was that that was the whole journey of it. I started all of this as a passion project, but now it's become more than what I've expected. And so what I did is I watched the video, and after the video, I kid you not, I started crying, because she said that was her gift, and I was really touched. I was really surprised. I didn't expect that she had a gift. I mean, the reservation for the dinner is already enough, but she still had a gift for me. And so after that, I cried. Maybe just one part of my eye, a little bit of crying only, not like full blown crying, because I still need to fix myself. And then as this one tear was about to drop, she said, "Hey, don't cry yet. Don't cry yet. Let come. There's more." And then she pulled me in, and then we went to our house, and she opened the door, and once she opened the door, I saw this huge balloon that says 2M or 2 million. And there were a lot of balloons on the floor, a lot of lights, and I could see the Small Talk podcast sign up there. And I realized that there was a surprise for me to celebrate my 2 million streams. And so my jaw dropped. I was so excited. I was so touched by the surprise. I'm not surprised all the time. Well, you can't be surprised all the time, but it meant a lot to me because I didn't expect it, not a single bit. It was a perfect surprise. And then my heart was already full. And again, I wanted to cry. And then I stepped forward. And after I took one step, I looked at my right, and there were my brothers. There they were, standing by the corner, greeting me, happy 2 million streams. And after I saw them, I started crying because that was the cherry on top. I didn't expect them to be there. Now, I was asking them to move here with me in Manila, but they went earlier than I expected, and they were there. And I cried because I didn't expect that I would celebrate my 2 million streams with the most important people in my life. And it was an amazing, amazing surprise. And so, with what I've shared with you, in case you're not aware, what I just did, it's actually public speaking. Let's get back to the topic now. If you're not noticing it yet, just be, just observe. Like, what did I do? Did I do anything special? I don't think so. What I just did is I told a story. And I want you to understand, if you want to get better at public speaking, you got to understand that public speaking is all about stories. 90% of what we consume is all about stories, whether it's gossips, whether it's a lesson, whether it's an experience from other people. We connect as human beings by stories. And public speaking is just telling a story to the public, which is telling a story, just like what I told earlier, to a lot of people. That's public speaking. And so if I ask you to do the same story or tell me the same kind of story, what happened with you last night, in that way, most of you won't, take the initiative to do so. And I want you to be critical about it. Why is that? Why do you think that most people are afraid to tell a story, to do public speaking, or basically to tell a story? You might be thinking a lot of things, but can I share with you what's the number one indicator or the number one reason why people are not initiative in public speaking? Can I share it with you with that? Well, it's basically because people are just afraid to get judged. And even if you don't admit it, the only fear that you have is you're fearing that you might say the wrong thing. And if you say the wrong thing, people won't like you anymore. And if people won't like you, you won't have the opportunity to look good in front of them. And so I want you to understand that public speaking is all, or the fear, or conquering the fear of public speaking is all about understanding that there is a fear of you saying the wrong thing. But let's be honest. You won't really say the wrong thing. It's just the bad story, the negative story that you have in your head that might happen. 99% of the time, it won't happen. But you're still holding on to it, just like all the other people. That's why they don't end up going after their dreams. They don't end up saying the thing that they really want to say. They don't end up speaking good in public. Because if you don't notice this, every time you make a mistake and you're very critical about it, you lose momentum. You lose your focus. You lose your focus. And so what I want you to understand, that if you have a fear of public speaking, if you have a fear of getting judged, if you have a fear of other people, or other people might say something, if you say the wrong thing, let me tell you, that's not reality. That's a lie that you are hearing every single day. Because in reality, it's okay to make mistakes, even in public speaking, especially in public speaking. The more authentic you become online on your platform, the more people would want to connect with you. And so I want to share with you 3 reasons or 3 ways for you to actually do better, or get better at public speaking. And so I want to start off with the first one. The first one is speak from your heart. When you speak from your heart, just like what I did earlier, or just like what I'm doing right now, there's really no script here. I'm not overthinking a lot of things. I'm just having a conversation from the heart. Speak from the heart and speak from the truth. Because if you speak from the truth, no matter how many people tell you that it's wrong, it's a lie, it's not true, you will hold your ground. Why? Because it's your truth. And no one can take that away from you. But maybe a lot of people don't want to post something because they don't want to stand for it, because they know it's a lie. But if you know it's 100% truth, then there is no need to be fearful about anything. So understand that if you are fearful about something, maybe you're speaking too much from your mind. Maybe it's time to now ditch the script and speak from the heart. Speak what you really want to say. And that's the first one, speak from the heart. The second one is learn the fundamentals. And so I'm going to hold a whole masterclass on this, a live workshop on public speaking. I hope you guys can attend on that. It's going to be really fun. There's going to be a lot of exercises. If you are interested in that, I'm giving out exclusive invites as of now. I'm not yet posting it into the public. So if you guys are hearing this, it's your opportunity to be trained by me. It's going to be a 1-day workshop, and it's going to be very, very soon. I hope I could replicate it so that more people can attend. But basically, I want to do that for you guys. So if you are interested, send me a message on Instagram, and I will add you to the waiting list. And yeah, so again, learn the fundamentals. What are the fundamentals? The fundamentals of public speaking are basically 5 things. I call them the 4 P's and the 1 T. The 4 P's conclude pace, or the varying of pace. Sometimes you need to speak fast and speak a lot of just like a rapper, like Eminem. It shows that you are excited about something, and it even tells you what part of the story you are in. At the same time, if you speak slowly, then you might show that this part of this story is about emphasis. Maybe it's about something that you really want to say to them, that you can't just, say it out loud. You need to really let them understand you. So that's it. Pace, or varying of pace. Second is power. You need to be able to speak at least at a level 5. Most of the time you think that you are shouting, but that's not the case. Most of the time you are speaking too low. Because if you're talking too loud, then people are gonna nudge you and say, "Hey, you're too loud." But if no one is doing that, you need to hold your power, because you lose a lot of the essence of the speech if you don't have enough power. And you might say, "Alec, I don't want to be shouting at other people's ears." You're not going to do that. Again, there's a limiter, but all of those technical stuff. But at the same time, you allow yourself to have power to speak from not just from your heart, but also from the diaphragm, and use your most powerful tool right now, which is your voice. So have that power. The next P is all about pitch. Ever wonder, if I ask you to read a poem right now, go ahead, think about it, any kind of poem, and I would ask you to recite all of the poems that you have, that you just read. Okay, I want you to recite the poem that you just read. And you might say, "Well, I'm not going to be able to do that." But if I show you right now the lyrics of love story, and I would ask you to recite it, you would be able to recite it. Yes? And maybe it's because you're not familiar with this other person's literary work. But more importantly, okay, I truly believe that because the others are not monotonous, that's why people are listening and tuning into it. A lot of people, when they create content, it's really monotonous. Sometimes they speak very slow, sometimes they speak very fast. You need to be able to find the balance there. Okay. The next P is all about pitch. Pitch is all about the melody of what you're going to say. For example, okay, I ask you to read a poem, just read it one time, and they ask you to recite it. Would you be able to do it? I don't think so. But if I ask you to read the lyrics of the song Love Story by Taylor Swift and I ask you to recite it, would you be able to recite it? Most probably yes. But mainly because this is something that you already know. Number one, you're more familiar with Taylor Swift. Or it's much easier for you to remember because it has a melody. And most people, they talk in a very monotonous tone. And monotony, being monotone in how you talk or how you say things is ruining all the vibe from your talk, from your speech. So you need to be able to say, to be excited. If you are excited, then put in a higher pitch. And maybe if you are in a tone of seriousness, then maybe put it in a lower tone or lower pitch. Okay? But it needs to vary. It doesn't just need to be one pitch. It can be variation of pitches. Okay? Next is, then the last P is all about pause. And pauses are beautiful because it allows you to let your audience digest and understand what you're about to say, or what you're going to say, or what you have just said. And more importantly, if you learn how to conduct and allow pauses, your talk would be 10 times more powerful. And if you notice, that is actually what I'm doing right now. And a lot of people don't want to do this, mainly because they think it's awkward. They think they need to say something. That's why the come up. Because they're just not comfortable with the pauses. But as I'm talking to you right now, I want to ask you, was that awkward? Or was it okay and understandable? Be okay with the pauses. It will give you an advantage of against other speakers out there. The last one is, of course, tonality. Okay, tonality is all about the facial expression, the body language. What emotion are you trying to evoke in the line that you're saying? Because it's not enough that you vary the pitch, you vary the volume, you vary the pacing. You need to be able to show emotion. And what are the top 5 emotions? You have happy, sad, disgust, anger, excited. And if you can show that in your talk, let's, for example, you want to show that you're excited in something, then maybe that's something that you want to share excitingly. It's like what I'm doing right now. But if it was something sad, then maybe you need to change your tonality. Or maybe if it's something that makes you happy. If it's something that makes you happy, then just change your tonality into something that is making you happy. Are you getting this? Guys, I hope you're getting this. I'm actually showing it to you. I'm doing it right now. I hope you guys are getting this, right? So change your tonality depending on what's the context of what you're trying to say. You got to show the emotion. You got to take that emotion out. Okay, so those are the fundamentals. Again, I'm going to deep dive into this in my latest workshop. Okay, send me a message if you are interested in that. And so the last one is my final piece of advice. It's just practice, 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 because I will not have any better tip for you guys but to just practice. If you are practicing every single day, whether it's you talking to someone and practicing all of the fundamentals, speaking from your heart, it will be something that you'll thank yourself later on. But can I share with you what's the biggest way to practice right now? Content creation. It allows you to leverage online presence, build your online assets, and more importantly, practice, practice, practice. Hey, I don't know, a lot of people are going to see it. Hey, you're not famous yet, right? This is the perfect time to make mistakes, to practice your tonality, practice your pitch, practice your pacing, practice your pauses. This is the perfect time right now while not everyone is looking at you, because if you get so good at this, a lot of people are going to notice, to always look at you, and you can make a mistake by then. But if you do, it's okay, right? But of course, the stakes are higher. So practice, practice, practice. Find a dojo. Biggest tip, please do content creation. If you want to learn more about content creation, by the way, I have my courses down below. Check it out and get access to all of my social media courses. I'll be running podcast masterclass soon. Okay, so if you are interested in running a podcast, then I'm happy to help you out. Please let me know if you are interested in that. Again, that's going to be invite only as for now. But if I have announced it, maybe in my next episodes, come and join us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. And so, yeah, thank you so much for being here. I hope that all of the tips that I gave you allow you to become more confident in public speaking and just, crush it in your next speech or talk. And so that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Alec. This is Small Talk, Small Conversations with Huge Impact, now exclusively on Spotify. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next episode. Peace.